Buffalo Bills saying bye-bye to head coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons and plenty of playoff victories, but also heartbreaking playoff defeats. He is out. A big matchup against Jacksonville. They lose in heartbreaking fashion. 8-8 in the playoffs, 98-50 in the regular season. One of the longest active tenured head coaches in the NFL. And McDermott is out, and just like that, the coaching carousel almost has to be put on hold around the league. Well, the question is, does Harbaugh wish he
waited a few days?
Yeah, wouldn't have signed. Who would the Bills even be after? Would this impact the Browns coaching search at all?
It worked out well, so it was a good workout overall with the two kickers we brought in. Tough decision, but we went in this direction.
What have you made of what you've seen of Shedeur Sanders so far?
Good player, good young player, off to a great start. Dangerous with the tool set that he brings to the table. And he's done a great job. I think their offense has actually ratcheted up since he's been under center. So that'll be a big challenge for him.
Sean McDermott is no longer the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, and that single decision may have quietly reshaped the entire NFL coaching cycle. Because while Buffalo decided to move on, one thing didn't change: Sean McDermott's respect for Shedeur Sanders as a quarterback. This is the same coach who openly acknowledged the shift in Cleveland's offense once Sanders took over. The same coach who described Sanders as a difficult player to prepare for. And now, with McDermott suddenly available and the Browns actively searching for a head coach, this situation has taken on a much bigger meaning. This isn't speculation for the sake of headlines. This is about fit, belief, and timing. 3 things that decide careers in the NFL. This goes beyond Buffalo firing a coach. Cleveland is already in the middle of another important decision point. Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry are weighing whether this organization needs a fresh offensive mind or a proven leader who can stabilize the franchise. And right in the middle of that decision is Shedeur Sanders.
When it comes to that, either way, you want McDermott. Is that someone that Browns fans would have any interest in? Again, he's had playoff success, but that's all going to be tethered to, at least the way that it's perceived, to Josh Allen.
Right.
Like, you don't get Josh Allen, you just get McDermott.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, but
That's the premise that I have been trying to explain to people about this coaching pool. I would be interested in him. I think the Tennessee Titans with Cam Ward, I think they would be interested in him because McDermott's a big reason why Josh Allen has developed into the league MVP that he is. But yes, long story short, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I am definitely reaching out to Sean McDermott and having a conversation with him. Yeah.
The Browns don't just need a head coach. They need someone who sees Sanders as a real option moving forward. Not a temporary solution, not a bridge, but a quarterback worth developing. That's why McDermott's past comments suddenly matter more than ever. Sean McDermott didn't fail in Buffalo. By most standards, he succeeded. He took over a struggling franchise and turned it into a consistent playoff team. He helped build a culture that emphasized accountability, preparation, and defensive toughness. Under his leadership, the Bills became relevant every season. But in today's NFL, relevance has an expiration date. With Josh Allen at quarterback, expectations shifted from competing to winning championships. Each playoff loss added pressure. Each missed opportunity became harder to justify. Eventually, Buffalo reached the conclusion many teams do, that stability alone wasn't enough to get them where they wanted to go. And once that decision is made, even a respected coach becomes expendable. Shedeur Sanders' rookie season came with challenges. He stepped into an offense that wasn't built for stability. He faced immediate pressure, limited margin for error, and constant evaluation. The numbers weren't perfect. The learning curve was obvious. But when Sanders became the starter, the offense showed signs of growth. The ball came out differently. The play calling opened up. Defenses had to respect the vertical passing game. Opposing coaches noticed. That includes Sean McDermott, someone whose job is to identify threats, not narratives. McDermott spoke about Sanders in terms of preparation and challenge, not potential or hype. That distinction matters. When McDermott used the word dangerous to describe Sanders, it wasn't dramatic language, it was a defensive assessment. For a defensive-minded head coach, that word means a quarterback who can stress coverages, extend plays, and punish mistakes. It means someone who forces adjustments rather than fitting neatly into a game plan.
In an article, it says Sean McDermott added to the growing praise for Shedeur Sanders. They said, as a veteran head coach with a defensive background, Sean McDermott had a lot to say about this Buffalo Bills facing Myles Garrett and the Browns' tough defense this Sunday at Huntington Bank Field. He also struck a similar tone when asked about Sanders, choosing the word dangerous to describe the 23-year-old's 4+ games this season. Okay, he said he's a good young player, off to a great start, dangerous with the tool set that he brings to the table. He's done a great job. I think their offense is actually ratcheted up since he's been under center, so that'll be a big challenge for us.
McDermott's firing immediately changed the hierarchy of available coaches. This wasn't a coach being dismissed for dysfunction or collapse. This was a calculated decision made by a team that wanted a different direction. That distinction matters. McDermott enters the coaching market with credibility. He's managed playoff expectations. He's coached through pressure. He's dealt with a franchise quarterback and the scrutiny that comes with it. That makes him different from first-time head coaches and coordinators still trying to prove themselves. And for a team like Cleveland, that experience carries weight. McDermott didn't frame Sanders as a project. He framed him as a problem defenses must account for. That perspective doesn't disappear just because circumstances change.
You know, at this stage, this is a pretty big NFL story, but obviously we're focused on what it could mean for the Browns.
Well, it has a ripple effect now, too, because of these young candidates that the Browns are talking to, and not just the Browns, but these other teams are talking to a lot of these guys as well, right? You know, the Browns aren't the only interview for Nate Scheelhaus. Same thing with, Grant Udinski and company. So I think that this definitely impacts the Browns coaching search, if not directly, indirectly.
The Browns are at a familiar crossroads. Another coaching search, another attempt to define direction, another decision that will shape the quarterback position. They can choose a young offensive mind and hope it clicks, or they can bring in a coach who has already navigated expectations, pressure, and long-term roster building. McDermott's previous comments suggest clarity in how he views Sanders, and that clarity is valuable. Quarterbacks develop faster when the head coach believes in them without hesitation, and Cleveland hasn't always provided that environment. There are fair questions. McDermott isn't known for offensive innovation. The league continues to tilt toward creative, offense-first leadership, and Browns fans have lived through too many resets to trust patience easily, but experience has value too. McDermott has coached deep into January. He's handled media pressure. He's dealt with the reality of managing expectations year after year. That steadiness can matter just as much as scheme, especially for a young quarterback still finding his footing. McDermott's availability doesn't just affect Cleveland. It changes interview timelines. It reshapes candidate priorities. It forces front offices to reconsider their boards. When a coach with sustained success becomes available, teams pause and reassess. Some will wait, some will pivot, some will move faster than planned. That's the ripple effect of a move like this. Sean McDermott is available at a critical moment. The Browns are searching for direction, and Shedeur Sanders remains the central piece of that puzzle. This isn't about chasing headlines. It's about belief, structure, and opportunity. If Cleveland wants a head coach who respects Sanders' game and understands the demands of winning in this league, Sean McDermott is a name that deserves serious consideration. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Does experience matter more than upside, or is Cleveland better off taking another chance?